Hi guys, Jeffrey here, and I am really excited to get going with you today. The first Thursday marketing training for January 2015. It's going to be jam-packed with some amazing information. And one of the tools that I've been using in my practice for multiple years, and I'm really excited to share that with you. It's that magical piece of paper that can totally transform your practice. So I'm going to give it a few minutes so people can get on board and join us here. There's been over 500 people who registered for this webinar. I'm really excited for that. So if you guys just want to take a couple seconds and check in the chat box over here, I want to make sure that you can hear me, and I'd like to know where you're calling in from today. So if you take a couple seconds and just type in where you're calling in from, that will confirm to me that you can actually hear me. Where are you calling in from? How long have you been in practice for? And whatever else you feel like sharing with me. I'm going to go back to a different screen right now. I'm going to give you about 2 minutes, and I'm going to come back in. We're going to start this webinar. Got a lot of great information for you. All right, it's great. A lot of you are really checking in over here. Some of you are brand new practitioners. Some of you have been in practice for 13 years, 15 years, 8 years. Really great to see the gamut of practitioners that show up to these first Thursday trainings. And I'm really excited to be doing these. I'm really excited that you joined me today. There is so much information that I want to be going through, And, so sit tight. The training will probably go between 60 to 90 minutes. There's a lot of great information that I want to share with you. I'd like to get as much of it out to you as possible. If you do have any questions, please post them in the chat box over here, and I will be able to get to those questions throughout the webinar today, and also definitely towards the end of the webinar, I'll be getting there too. One of the first things my name is Jeffrey Grossman, and I'm an acupuncturist here in the Washington area. I've been in practice since 1998, and my background is in graphic design, advertising, and marketing. Then I became an acupuncturist, and now I consider myself to be a graphic puncturist. And what we do is now we help other practitioners build successful practices, build powerful patient-getting websites, create marketing materials to grow their businesses. And we're here as a resource for the acupuncture community to provide that information to you so you can do what you do best, which is to help people to get well, to stay healthy. And we're here to support you in your marketing efforts, in your patient attraction efforts, in your patient retention efforts. So again, really excited that you're here. One of the first things I want to talk about today is the idea that understanding your market is an important concept that I'm going to be going through today that will allow you to really attract some qualified, quality new prospects into your practice and allow you to transform them into new patients. I've been thinking about this. It's 2015, brand new year, and I've been thinking about this big why. Why am I doing this first Thursday? Why am I even here as an acupuncturist? And why am I even here running this marketing company to help support other practitioners? And my big why is evolving. And it's evolving to the fact that I am committed to the idea that I would like to introduce 100,000 new people to acupuncture in 2015. That's a lot of people, but I can't do it unless I have your help and unless I have the help of other practitioners on board. So part of my big why is to help you as an acupuncturist embrace marketing in a way that you can wear your hat as a healer, which you do so well, and your hat as a business person, which we are can provide you some information to do that so you can get out there and attract qualified people into your practice so we can bring a greater awareness to the power of this medicine. Acupuncture is awesome. It can change lives, and in that it can change the world. And the big why is to get out there and help you guys build big practices, attract more people so we can bring in 100,000 new people into the care of acupuncture in the next year. Now, that's a huge why. It's a huge goal, and I can't do it without you guys. That's why First Thursday exists. It exists because it's about that ripple effect, that idea that when we plant those seeds to patient education, and when we plant those seeds of good health through acupuncture, we can educate the masses to bring them under the awareness that acupuncture is great for so many different modalities. When I started my practice, I spent so much time and so much energy and a lot of money doing marketing to try to attract people in my practice. I would see people for a few visits, 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and then eventually inevitably they would fall out of care. And it probably sounds familiar to you guys because you spend a lot of time spinning your wheels to do some marketing. They come into your practice, you work with them for a little bit, and then all of a sudden, you treat them, you work with them, they fall out of care. They're gone. They're out of there. And I had a bunch of holes in my schedule. I would see a patient at 9 o'clock and then another one at 11:15 and then another one at 3 o'clock. And it was just a huge waste of my time. And it was really, really, really frustrating for me. And, the problem is I wasn't getting patients to commit to long-term care. I wasn't having patients schedule out their appointments. You know, what was happening is I would see people, they'd come in, they'd schedule out appointment here, one appointment there, and so on. And again, that probably sounds familiar to you guys too. I mean, I don't know. I would love to know. Put it in your box over here in the chat box. Let me know if you actually are getting your patients to commit to long-term care, and how many visits on average are you offering, are you getting ready, are you getting your patients to commit to? So, you know, my schedule, like I said, had a lot of holes in it, and I had to do something really, really fast, or else I needed to look for a second job. And I had to figure out a way to communicate that bigger picture to my patients so that they would really understand what I could do for them in a way that they could kind of comprehend those concepts about acupuncture and what I could do with them over a period of time so they can know what to expect under my care. And I needed to stop that patient revolving door, and then I needed to do something that would help me present my findings to my patients so they got that bigger picture as to why they need to see me for a period of time. And I also wanted to make sure that I was able to plant that seed for long-term wellness care. I don't want to just treat people for relief care, to come in for pain and to come in for a shoulder issue or a knee issue or whatever it is. I want to treat people for long-term care. I want patients to stick with me for life. Really, that's the way to build a strong and stable practice. And that's why I'm starting this year off with this one thing that is so important. It totally transformed my practice, and it gave me structure in my practice. It gave me the opportunity to organize and systematize my practice. And now, after I started doing this one thing that I'm going to be showing you today, my patients were booking out 6, 8, 12, 15, 16 visits into the future, and my schedule started looking full. My schedule started having a waiting list on there because people were booking out, you know, multiple visits into the months further out. So by doing this, I was on that road to building a more stable, a more supportive practice for me and my family. So learning this one thing is vital to any practice, and that's why I'm starting 2015 out with this. You know, I don't care if you're just starting out or if you've been in practice for 10 years, but if you are not doing a report of findings for every single patient that comes into your practice, you're missing out on a huge piece of practice and patient management. It's so important. I can't stress it enough. It's the cornerstone of every successful practice. You answer those 5 questions that patients have that they might not even come out and directly ask you, but it's in their mind. They've got those questions. And I'm going to go over all of this with you. It allows you to organize and systematize your practice. It allows you to create really comprehensive care plans and present them with the different stage of care that they're in. You can plant the seeds for long-term health, and it gives you a framework that you could work within during your treatment protocols. And again, it allows you to book, schedule out. And one of the important things that giving a report of findings does is it gives you the opportunity to go back and evaluate the progress of where a patient is when they first come in with you to where they are after a series of visits. And that's important. How many times do your patients give you that nod of like, oh yeah, that's right, when you ask them how their headaches have been? Let's say you've been treating somebody for 10 visits, and you go back and you reevaluate with them and you say, so Jeffrey, I'm just checking in with you. How are those little nagging headaches that you have? Or how was that little shoulder ache that you had for a period of time? And then it's like, oh, wow, that's right. I forgot about that stuff because I don't feel that stuff anymore. So it qualifies that patient in realizing that, yes, care is working, not just for whatever they came in with, but for those little things, those little nagging things that fall off as they get better. That reevaluation that the report of findings allows you to do is huge and powerful. So one of the first things that we're going to do today is outline a simple step-by-step marketing structure that you can start implementing in your practice starting tomorrow. And if you stick around, you're going to learn the 5 questions that you must ask for every patient that comes into your practice that makes them feel comfortable for receiving your care. You're also going to learn how to plant those seeds for long-term and possibly lifelong relationships with your patients. And you're going to learn the easy way to get patients to book multiple treatments in advance and what not to say to your patients to keep them from running out of your clinic and never coming back. And I'm going to show you how to establish your position of authority that will give you those tools to really step up and own that idea that you are a leader in your industry. And I also want to show you how you can ethically convert a patient from an average of 2 to 4 visits to 10 or 12 or more visits than that. And this has nothing to do with selling. It has nothing to do with being a salesperson. It's just a little magical piece of paper with words on it, and that's colorful, that I'm going to be sharing with you. And I'm also going to talk to you as if you're starting from scratch, because again, I don't care if you're just starting your practice. I don't care if you have a website or a Facebook page, or if you're the most amazing diagnostician, or you're an incredible herbalist. I want to talk with you like you're just starting your practice, so you could put this stuff in your practice right away to make it easier for you to get that going. So, this is going to work if you literally show you how to start growing your practice and getting qualified prospects to convert to first-time patients who stay, pay, and refer by giving a report of findings. And I'm going to show you how to put the bonuses that you're going to get when you stay to the end of this practice into use into your practice immediately. I've been helping practitioners build strong practices since 2002. And my job today is to help you think about marketing and how to turn your practice into success, because what I'm going to show you first is how to get a huge part of the market that will pay for your services that most people are not talking to right now. It's a whole segment of people who are looking for you and your solutions that no one's really paying attention to. So, it's not your fault that we weren't given these tools when we were at acupuncture school. It's the same thing as being in dental school or massage school. No one said that you really had to market your practice. No one said that you have to go out there and figure out how to attract people in your practice. Nobody gave us those tools on how to build a real strong, stable, and successful business. But I have to tell you, you need to embrace this stuff. You need to embrace these information I'm going to be sharing with you on First Thursday, because you need to make a living. Right? It's our job to make the world aware of our modality. And when we get done today, you'll understand where people want to hear from you and how to get in touch with them, and also how to convert them into powerful first-time paying patients. Many of you might say that you really don't like marketing. Many of you might say that money's bad and kind of run the other way when it comes towards you. But I got to tell you, without money and without marketing, without these business skill sets that I'm going to be sharing with you, it would be a whole different world that you would be living in. Some of you do have second jobs because your practice isn't as powerful or as busy as you want it to be. And if you stick with me in these next First Thursdays I'm going to be sharing with you, I'm going to show you these tools on how you can really build a practice that partially runs on automatic. So you need marketing and a reliable way to market your practice to continually get new prospects to commit to your care plan. How many of you have marketing plans that you use regularly in your practice? Put a little message in here, like put a yes in there if you have plans and systems set up in your practice that you use on a regular basis, that I talked about in last month's webinar about doing a calendar. So all of this marketing stuff may seem overwhelming, but and I understand that you as a practitioner, all you want to do is help your people to get well, stay healthy. I know that. I was there too. All I wanted to do was stand behind my table and help my patients move some chi, tonify some deficiencies, eliminate some excesses, and so on. But I really had to embrace that marketing stuff, and it was a challenge for me. It was really, really challenging. I spent $10,000, $15,000 on private coaching with marketing experts in industries to help me master some of these tools that I'm sharing with you today, especially the report of findings. So I'm going to show you how to make this as painless as possible. And I want you to know that I'm here for you. I'm here for the community. I want to embrace this big why with you. 100,000 new people introduced to acupuncture 2015. That's awesome. That is incredible. And I feel that we can do it. We all have to get on board. We all have to do our efforts in our own little communities to really spread the message. But acupuncture is awesome. It can change lives. And I'm here to help you work through that and to kind of give you some ideas and tools so you don't have to reinvent that marketing wheel. Okay? So we're going to go into the webinar. I'm really glad you joined me. I'm going to try to keep this as quickly as possible. So I know that some of you have patients coming up, and I want to really make sure that I get this information out to you. I'm going to try to stick within, 60 to 90 minutes, or, if we could do whatever we do is what will happen. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead. I am going to move right into the webinar. All right. Okay, the magical piece of paper that turns you into an authority figure. Now, this is a power, the report of findings is that magical piece of paper that really turns you into a report of findings, master of giving the report of findings. So today, we're going to do a quick review of some of the things I talked about. We're going to go over the 30, 60, and 90-day marketing calendar. I'm going to talk with you about this concept called the tipping point and the Sisyphus effect. And I want to really talk with you about this authority platform called the magical piece of paper, which is the report of findings. And if you stay until the end, I'll give you a link to get access to a 37-page ebook on how to give a report of findings, a 5-step report of findings action plan organizer, and 4 done-for-you written patient emails that you can use for patients to help motivate them to come in for care if they don't accept your care plan during the report of findings. One of the first things that I want to review is the 3, 7, 30, 30, 30 market mix success formula. And I want to tell you that if you really understand this, that you are on top, you're the cream de la cream of practitioners out there, because most people don't really get this. Most people don't really have an idea that, that this sort of market mix formula exists. And most people are really just kind of focused on this little number right here, that 3% right over here. So today, I want to go into the idea that out of 100% of the perfect patients that are looking for you, 97% of them aren't even looking for you or your services right now. So the 3 in the equation stands for 3% of people are actively looking for a solution to their problems. They really need you. They really know that they have a problem and they're looking for this solution, but they may not know that acupuncture can help them with their back pain or their allergies or their cold or their menstrual irregularities, and there's a lot of competition that's really looking for this 3% over here. So it kind of gets it's a bit of a struggle, and everyone is competing for this little bit of the pie, because these are the people that are actively looking for a solution for their problem, but they don't know that you exist. So it's important to educate patients around the far-reaching benefits of acupuncture. And in this way, they're always in the know of what our medicine can do and what it can't do. And if somebody asks them, what's going on with them, or gosh, I have allergies, I don't know what to do with it, they might be able to properly educate their friends and family about coming in to see you because of that. So, this 3% is such a small figure, and most people are focused on this because they're actively looking for people who are actively have a problem. Okay, I hope that makes sense to you. Now, this one over here, there are 7% of people who are open to your solution, but they're not actively shopping yet, right? So, these are people who may have made like a New Year's resolution, and they're, they know that, they're open to something, but they're not really ready to make that commitment yet. And that's why it's really important for you to get in front of them now. So when they're ready to make that choice to come in or to address whatever it is going on with them, that you are in front of mind awareness for them. So this group of people, they're not actively searching yet because it doesn't hurt enough, or they just don't have enough time yet, or whatever it is. But it's good to get in front of them now, so that 7% of people, when they're ready for their solution, you come to their mind. There's 30% of people who are aware that they need you or some kind of a solution, but they're putting it off till later, right? Like they need to stop smoking, or they need to help with their fibromyalgia, but they're just putting it off. They're aware that a problem exists, but they're not looking for it right now. And, and part of it too is they don't even know that acupuncture can help them. So there's that 30% of people there who are aware that they need you, or they are aware that they need some kind of a solution, but they're putting it off until later. Okay. And then there's this other 30% that are completely unaware that they even have a problem that you solve, right? There's this whole group of people who don't even know that acupuncture is great for these other health benefits right over here. They are totally unaware that we exist and that we can even help them. Like they didn't even know that there was a natural remedy to help eliminate their headaches. They didn't even know that there's a natural way to help them with their irritable bowel syndrome and so on. So, and finally, there's this other final 30% that is, that automatically they're just going to say no. Like they're not even part of it. They're just going to say no when no matter what you do, no matter what you say, that other 30% isn't even going to consider taking you on for your care. All right. So that's the 67%. There's 67% of people who are open to your solution. They're aware that they need a problem, and they're but they're unaware that acupuncture can help them, right? So this market segment here is where I want you to focus on your marketing efforts, because people need us, but they don't know that they can actually use us because we're not in front of their minds yet in that respect. Okay, so that is the brief of the marketing success formula. I have another video that goes a little more in detail about this that I'm going to be posting later on. So if you want a little more about this, you can learn a little bit more about this later on. So, it's a lot to take in. And the truth is that we all want, we all just want people to show up at our doorstep, right? We just want people to walk through the door this afternoon, right off the street. But that's really not going to happen, right? That's why an education-based marketing system is so effective and so helpful in building trust and taking action with new and current patients. But, I just wanted to point out that when it comes to building a successful practice, the best way to focus it, the best way to look into your market is that 67% who don't even, who are looking for a solution, but they don't even know that we're there to help them in a sense. Okay, so let me go a little further. I'm going to give you a little bit of a recap. So I want to take a step back and talk with you and just how brilliant you guys are. In November, I taught you about this relaxation treatment called Acupuncture Happy Hour Stress Reduction Treatment. It's, so far everything really builds upon this to help support the reported findings. The relaxation treatment is your lost leader, right? It's that way that allows you to effortlessly attract qualified prospects into your door by way of giving them a free mini stress reduction treatment. It's that way that gets that person who is curious or interested about acupuncture to actually step foot into your practice. It's that lost leader. You could use this at health fairs, talks, networking events, and so on. So it's, a happy hour is an event that you can create in an ongoing way, in your practice, that is this new patient continual faucet that drips new prospects into your practice that you can convert to new patients. And we have a whole acupuncture happy hour marketing kit that we sold last month to help you guys get ready for the new year. If you want to learn about that, put a little comment in the chat box over here, and I'll shoot you an email about the happy hour kit afterwards. Just write happy hour in there, and I'll get some information to you. This whole happy hour training is like a turnkey patient acquisition faucet, if you will, give me that. At one event alone, at one health fair, I attracted 27 people into my practice by way of giving them a free mini stress reduction treatment / happy hour, and 17 of them converted into first-time paying patients. That's huge. In marketing terms, that is a huge return on investment. And that's why I started the last month's talk with reporter finding with the happy hour, is because I wanted to really get you guys prepared for that. One of the other past marketing trainings that we did was I taught you about 8 ways to maximize referrals and leads from your website. And I also introduced you to this 12-month marketing plan. And again, these videos from the past trainings will be available in a website that I'll be sharing with you later on. It's the plan. I went over a plan to lay out your whole year in a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annual basis, what to do, when, and how to do it, and so on. And I taught about your website and the things that were really, really important about your website. The 8 different things that are important about your website in order to really attract those referrals, convert them into new patients, and actually get them into your door. But today, I really want to talk with you about that most important clinical skill, which is the cornerstone of your practice, which is the report of findings. But before we do that, I'm going to give you a brief overview about the 30, 60, 90 days. So in January, this month, there are these different marketing topics that you can actually tap into. These are the different topics. People made resolutions. They need to keep those resolutions about health and well-being. Perfect opportunity for you to market towards those resolutions. It's also Thyroid Awareness Month. Many of you practice, thyroid health in your practice, and a great, amazing opportunity for you to start promoting Thyroid Awareness Month and overcoming some thyroid issues using acupuncture and herbs. It is also National Breast and Cervical Cancer Month. So if you work with any women or any cancer patients, you can piggyback with some of the things that the National Breast and Cervical Cancer Early Detection program is set up for. You could actually, I think the CDC actually has a whole program set up for that. So you can Google National Breast and Cervical Cancer Early Detection, CDC, and you'll come up with some really great information about that. Cervical Health Awareness Month, Glaucoma Awareness Month, and it's the National Folic Awareness Week, which is between the 6th and the 12th. And the folic awareness is to create healthy babies. So if you wanted to talk about fertility and women's health, those are great times and opportunities to do that in. And we have some marketing materials like the Women's Health Brochure and Acupuncture for Children brochure that can go along with those trainings as well. In February, Chinese New Year, February 19th, make sure you use that as an opportunity. Get that going this month or in a couple of weeks from now, so you can get out some marketing information based upon Chinese New Year. Super Bowl is coming up on the 1st. You can do some type of training, some type of promotion in your practice for Super Bowl. Valentine's Day is coming up on the 14th. You could do something about, embracing the heart health, or just generally, share the love, right? Share the love of acupuncture. Here's a gift certificate for that to, give to your, patients, to give to their friends and family members, something like that. Low vision awareness month. Again, acupuncture in the eyes. You could focus on helping to create good eye health through acupuncture. Or American Heart Month. HIV Awareness Day is happening on February 7th. Many of you do practice with people who are suffering, who have HIV and AIDS. What a great opportunity for you to expand that awareness about acupuncture in your practice, piggybacking on HIV and AIDS Awareness Month. And in light of that, it's also National Wear Red Day, which I think is in support of the HIV/AIDS Awareness Day as well. Again, National Eating Disorders Awareness Week is happening. Great opportunity to get on board and educate about digestive issues and even PTSD or acupuncture, ear acupuncture for eating disorders. So an excellent opportunity to really piggyback on these upcoming marketing topics for you. March is National Endometriosis Awareness Month. Again, women's health is really, really big in March. So why not do a women's health awareness campaign in March? You could piggyback on endometriosis awareness, Women's History Month, HIV Awareness Day, and even MS month too, because a lot of women do get MS. These are definitely all the events. Definitely, I would piggyback on National Sleep Awareness Week. Acupuncture is amazing for helping people to sleep better. Teach a class or a workshop, specific acupuncture points or acupressure points that you can teach your patients and their friends and family members on how to sleep better, right? There's amazing points out there for that. Those are the different topics that I would suggest to piggyback on for January, February, and March, your 30, 60, and 90-day marketing overview. These are the topics that you can really tap into. Again, we have some brochures for women brochure. We have a sleep education card. We have an MS education card and a cancer education card to help support you in any of your marketing efforts like that. So feel free to contact me or any of my staff if you wanted to learn more about those different materials. So my question to you is this: what kind of things are you willing to do and to have in order to have a profitable, in order to attract a profitable patient into your practice? So, are you willing to commit to this year that this is a new year in order to help you grow your business to create a really profitable practice by attracting patients? Are you willing to do more marketing? Are you willing to ask for more referrals? Are you willing to reach out to other network marketing partners? Are you willing to embrace some of these tools I'm going to be sharing with you so you can actually get out there and, market your practice easily and effortlessly by using these tools that I've put together for you, so you don't have to reinvent that wheel, so you can really do what you do best, which is to help people to get well and stay healthy. So what are you willing to do 2015 to make this your biggest year yet, and to also tap into that whole big vision of helping to bring 100,000 more new people into the awareness of acupuncture being amazing? So our job as a practitioner is to establish ourselves as a healer and a leader in the industry. So it's a relationship where we have multiple jobs, right? We have that job of being a healer, we have that job of being an herbalist, we have that job of being a business person, amongst all those other jobs that we have of running a business, right? So I'm going to share with you the different jobs that people have, that you have, and that your patients have when they're under your care. And that's one of the tools that I'm going to be sharing with you as the bonus items at the end of this webinar over here. So, but as an acupuncturist, our job is to position ourselves as that authority figure, right? As that leader in the industry, as that healer to help our patients in our community to get well and to stay healthy. We have to establish ourselves as that leader, because if we don't, somebody else will, which means we won't be get that care that other people would be would be getting, right? We would be losing out on those potential patients because we're not established as that a leader, as that authority in our industry. So there's this concept called the Sisyphus cycle, and it's the idea that you are condemned to an eternity of frustrating hard labor where you sweat and toil to move great boulders to the top of a hill, only to see it roll back to the bottom again with no benefit for you. So I also think it's the definition of insanity, right? You do something over and over and over again, trying to get somewhere, but nothing really helps, okay? So the Sisyphus effect is the cycle that you get out there, you attract patients, you do your marketing, you attract patients, they come in, you see them for a visit or two, they fall out of care, they're gone. You get out there, you do your marketing, you attract a patient, they come in, you see them for a visit or two, and then they're gone, right? That's the Sisyphus cycle of being in private practice, right? So I don't want you to be in that way, right? Let's look what you've done, right? You spent a long time in undergraduate school in order to become an acupuncturist, right? My understanding is that most acupuncture schools have a prerequisite of you being an undergraduate. So you have an undergraduate degree, right? You also spent, 3 to 4 or more years in acupuncture school learning the tricks of the trade and learning all the different great things about becoming an acupuncturist. You also spent time working in the clinic while you're in school, so you're slowly getting more traction. You're slowly pushing things up that hill of becoming, a profitable practitioner. And you open up your practice and things get really heavy. Things become more of a burden for you. And then you get out there, you open your practice, and you've got to start marketing and promoting your practice, right? So, you spend a lot of time, you spend a lot of money in order to get from here, undergraduate school, all the way up here to opening up your practice. It's a lot of time, a lot of money. If you took out student loans, you probably have, and you maxed them out, you might have $100,000 or more in debt. And I'd be curious, actually, if some of you, I'd be curious if you're willing to share this. How much debt do you guys have? I mean, I maxed out my loans when I was in school, and I think I maxed them out. It was back in when I graduated in 1997. I think I was at like $75,000 in debt, and with my student loans, and that was a huge burden, huge burden, right? To try to make that money to pay that back. I know I deferred it for multiple years. So I'm just curious as to where you guys are with all that. So, when you get to this place, right, you do the marketing and the promotion over here, you do all this stuff to kind of gear you up to marketing and growing your practice. And you get to this place, you market your practice, you get people in, and people come in and they get to this tipping point, right? They get to this area, you've brought them up here, they're in your practice, they're waiting to see you, and now you either push them over the edge to commit to more care, to become a patient, to schedule out further visits, or you push them away, okay? This is that tipping point. This is, at some point, you get to this place. And when you get to this place, after you push that marketing boulder to the top of this hill, and, what I want you to do is I want you to roll it down the other side so you can easily and ethically change your prospects into first-time paying happy patients, right? That's why the report of findings is so important. The report of findings, it is that tipping point, that shifts a person from becoming from a prospect to becoming a happy paying patient, because it changes that relationship entirely. It changes that place of being that authority, right? It shifts that place for people to give you that time of day, that respect, that leadership role as a business entrepreneur. The reported findings and this tipping point area is that bridge between all of your experience as a practitioner and all of your knowledge that you have of all of the years that you've become hard at studying what you're studying. It's that bridge that conveys, your ability and your skills and how that you really present yourself as an authority figure to your patients in the right way. And there's actually a right way and a wrong way to do the reported findings. We're going to talk about that a little later on. So your authority platform creates that tipping point from, no thanks, I'm not ready to become a patient now, to yes, sign me up. And if you can't convey it to me being your patient, then I may not take you seriously. I'm looking to find someone as a patient, as a patient, I'm looking to find someone, a professional, an authority figure that I can trust, that can tell me what's wrong, that I know that they've spent this time and energy becoming this authority figure, this leader in the industry, because they've got all of these amazing skills on board. So giving the reported findings establishes that credibility and establishes that authority. And that's why the proper presentation of the reported findings is so important. And it's not just doing one, right? It's not just, doing a report of findings and say, hey, thanks, goodbye, here it is. It's doing it the right way. It's answering the 5 questions. It's going over the different stages of care that a person is in, what they can expect, how much is it going to cost, and so on. And that's what the report of findings does, and if you don't know how to do one, your relationship with your patients is going to start over each and every time, right? Because you're going to get out there, they're not going to know what's going on, you're going to start it all over again, they're not going to really have those tools on board as to what they can expect while they're under your care, and so on. And, again, this is the Sisyphus cycle, right? It's repeating itself over and over again. It's the definition of insanity too. So from this point forward, if you know how to represent an effective report of findings, your relationship's going to get easier. Your relationship is going to get stronger. So this is what changes your relationship. And until the report of findings, if I'm a patient, I might be thinking about you being my doctor. I might be thinking about you doing something for me. Maybe you know what you're doing, maybe you don't know what you're doing, but the report of findings changes that relationship. So I'm going to get a drink of water there. The report of findings is that tipping point, right? It's that authority platform, the bridge that allows, that lets me know as a patient that you know your stuff, right? Because you went over all these amazing details with me and you kind of gave me all this information, right? To become an amazing, have this great awareness. So it gives me the confidence in you and to trust you and to like you. And if you never do one, there's no real line drawn, right? There's no baseline that you can work with your patients. There's no point of reference that you can refer back to, with your patients as to like, here's where you were, here's where you are now. Look at all this great, amazing changes that took place. You need that. You need to have that. It's so vital for your relationship, and it's so vital for your practice, and it's so vital to turn prospects into happy first-time paying patients. So, so if you're not doing a report of findings, patients might have a hard time trusting you, right? You need to be doing a report of findings. It's an amazing way for them to go home to tell their family, what they're doing with you, what you're going to be, how long is it going to take, and gives them those tools to better educate themselves. I talked to a few practitioners. I interviewed a few practitioners that before this, and a lot of them said that the report of findings gave them and their patients a clear understanding of how to proceed with care. It also gave them, there are some of their patients were actually getting better results after giving the report of findings. Patients were scheduling more, they were getting better faster, the practitioners were making more money. It gave them an effortless way to manage their clinic and their patients' time. It also took the mystery out of Chinese medicine, and instead of sounding so mystical to the general person. And it completely transformed their practice. And these live interviews will be posted up on the page. After this webinar, I'm going to post them up on this page for you so you can listen to these audio files about these practitioners. I think it's like, I don't know, I think it's I don't know, maybe like an hour plus of like interviews with these other practitioners that you'll have access to for, for attending this webinar. So knowing how to give the report of findings in an ethical way, and there's an ethical way to really give a report of findings, to show your patients what they need and how you're really going to help them is really important. I really can't stress this enough. And again, this is why I started the year off with this. It's the difference between making a living or struggling in your practice. And that's why we're here right now to kind of share that with you here. You worked so hard going to school, learning all the information, and when you don't have something like the report of findings, you're leaving that patient revolving door open. It's that written proof of your experience and expertise. It changes that role from it's about me and how you can help me to accomplish my goals with your experience, right? That's what your patient is tipped to. Your patients are realizing, wow, this is about me, right? This is about how you're going to help me accomplish my health goals because you're an expert and an authority in your practice. So this is proof. What proof do you give your patients that they should trust you, right? I mean, what do you do with all of that with your patients over there? So, if it's not a report of findings, I really don't know what it is. This is what I'm going to, if you don't have an exact tool, you're kind of going to be working within that Sisyphus effect, kind of pushing your patients into your practice. They leave after a few visits, you're out marketing, pushing them in and so on. I really don't want you to take on that Sisyphus effect. Too many practitioners are doing it, and I really don't want you to be doing that at all. So what I'm going to be sharing with you, what I'm saying is incredibly painful if you don't know how to do report of findings, and it's incredibly easy if you do know how to do a report of findings, okay? Because when you do know how to do a report of findings, it snowballs your personal relationship with your patients, because now you can talk facts from a position of authority. And now you can share with your patients from where they were, where they are, and where they're going under your care. If you're not doing a report of findings, you're really missing out on a huge piece of practice growth and development. So, you could either continue working in this cycle of the Sisyphus effect or embrace the report of findings as your authority platform that creates that snowball effect to help you build strong and lasting relationships. So our job is to establish ourselves as a healer in the industry, and this is how to do that. So, acupuncture school taught you everything that you need to open up your practice and to become an amazing diagnostician. But, they left out this one very important piece of practice growth and this one very important piece of patient education, which is the report of findings. And this is the report of findings that I use in my practice here. Our job is to establish ourselves as a leader. And, we've done all of the things to get them to this critical point where we can evaluate them. And now we really understand who they are, what's wrong with them, and what we can do for them. But patients don't understand that, right? You know what's going on with them and how you're going to help them, but your patients don't understand what's going on with them and how you're going to help them. So if you don't do a report of findings, you're missing out on this huge piece of practice development. So without the report of findings to present them, Can your patients trust you? Are you the authority here? Are you the leader here? Do you have their solution? Can you help them get out of pain? They need to have absolute confidence in you so that things will work well and that they're going to get better. And the report of findings is a picture of their health. It's a snapshot in time. You've shown them all the things, so now they really understand how confident in you and what you're trying to do. And if you don't do a report of findings, again, you're going to be starting all over again. You're going to start that Sisyphus effect and pushing them up, pushing them in, pushing them out. And that's why so many people, leave, because, they haven't had that professional medical presentation, that review of their findings that they can, and what they can expect under your care. So, if you do the report of findings and make your relationships easy as possible, you get to roll downhill, you get that snowball effect, it gets bigger, it gets easier, it just gets really easy for you. I really can't stress that enough. So let's see. So this is, if the benefits of giving a report of findings are this. So, the benefits to your patients, of what you do, right? This is what your patients think, right? You're going to help them with their pain. You're going to help them with their stress. You're going to help them with their anxiety. You can help them improve their sleep. You're going to help them with their withdrawals and so on. This is the benefits of what you offer with your care, right? And because you're going to show them how, through you giving a report of findings, how they're going to benefit in these different areas based upon their health concerns. You benefit by giving the report of findings because it helps you stay organized. It helps you stay systematized. It helps you create structure in your practice. It helps answer those 5 questions. It helps you fill your schedule. You get to really properly educate your patients. It gives you that baseline from where you can reevaluate your patients. It allows you to cross-promote other aspects of you being in practice, like selling herbs and doing, teaching trainings and things like that. And it definitely builds trust. And it is that tipping point in your relations with your patients, right? Because now your patients have an idea as to what to expect, when to expect it, and everything gets really clear for them. So if you were to give, if you were to get let's just say on average, right? You're charging on average $95 a visit per patient, and you start promoting or start suggesting to patients that they're going to come in for 8 visits or more. That's roughly about $760. And if you get 4 new patients a month and they start committing to, 8 visits with you, that's $3,040. And if you do that month on end, just with 4 new patients a month, and I'm saying just with 4 new patients a month, using things like the acupuncture happy hour and that call to action that we talked about in the previous trainings, if you do those regularly, you're going to get more than 4 new patients a month, guaranteed. So with just 4 patients a month, 12 times a year, 12 months out of the year, that's an extra $36,000 that you can add to your bottom line. But again, there's this disclaimer on here that says results are not typical. You have to market your business in order to grow your practice. You can't just sit there and hope that people are going to come in and patients are going to come in. You really have to get out there and promote your business in a powerful and authoritative way. And the report of findings gives that to you. And I would love to have you guys add another $36,000 to your annual income by getting patients to commit to more visits with you. So the report of findings is an internal patient procedure that defines their problems, that gives them the solutions, and it defines the roles as to what you're going to do for them and what they need to do while they're in care, right? So what they need to do is they need to commit to the visits that they're committed to. They need to keep those visits with you. They need to commit to taking the herbs. They need to commit to coming in on time. They need to commit to taking those the times that they schedule with you. A report of findings also develops a timeline of care for you. Like, it gives you that outline as to when you're going to help people and it identifies costs. And it's also a report that people get to take home, right? They get to take it home, put it in a little clear sleeve, and put it on their counter. People are inevitably going to be excited to see it and pick it up and look at it. And it's also a tool to help gain patient commitment. Why should you do a report of findings? Because it helps educate your patients. It establishes you as an authority. It establishes a need for care. It gives a baseline as to where they were and where they're going, and builds connection and trust, answers the 5 questions, and sets the stage for long-term care with your patients. So now we're going to go into the 5 questions. And these are the 5 questions that, you need to answer whether or not your patients actually ask you these questions. So the first question is, what's causing my problems, right? Everyone wants to know what's causing my problems. The report of findings answers those questions for you easily, because you're going to be going over what's causing their problems. So you need to also answer the question, how long is it going to take? Is it going to take 1 visit, 2 visits, 18 visits, 1,000,000 visits? How long is it going to take? The report of findings gives you and your patients that time frame so they can have an idea as to how long their visits are going to last with you. So and a lot of patients really appreciate that, because some patients have been presented with the idea that they need to come see somebody 5 times a week for 5 weeks, right? And most people are kind of turned off of that, but that's why the report of findings is important, because it really gives you those tools that really outlines the timeline of care. Also, it identifies how you're going to help them. Are you going to do herbs? Are you going to do meridian exercises? Are you going to do acupressure? Are you going to do a dietary therapy? What are you going to do to help them? Are you going to needle that point? Are you going to have them doing some breathing visualizations? Whatever it is. The ROF outlines how you're going to help them. How much will it cost? Everybody wants to know how much is it going to cost. So the ROF gives you a way to sort of map out their financial commitment and investment in their health. And the last of the questions is how they're going to pay for it. So you need to answer all of these questions with your patients, whether or not they are actually asking those. And the report of findings systematically walks you through each of those different areas. So in this is the report of findings form that I have, that I've been using in my practice for multiple years, and hundreds of other practitioners have been using these over the years as well. This talks about, this section here talks about what their health concerns are. Here's the section here that talks about what you found, the different symptoms and signs that you can check off here. What I like about the forms that I built here are, if people start, once you start doing, filling this form in, people start seeing a pattern form. They start seeing that, there's a lot of different symptoms and signs related to a liver and gallbladder imbalance going on. So when they start seeing that, it makes the pathology a little more aware for them, right? So now they can see that, wow, I can understand why I have, migraines going on, because most of my symptoms and signs are in this area here. And based upon the other findings that you found here, I can see how this is the system that's out of balance for me. This also shows a patient here, excuse me, that the energy flows in a specific direction. And if there's an imbalance going on in this meridian over here, let's say the liver and gallbladder meridian, it's going to affect the other meridian systems here. So maybe that's why there might be some other symptoms showing up in the lung and large intestine meridian, or maybe the pericardium and the triple warm meridian, and so on. It also gives you an area on here where you can map out where the different imbalances are and the different organ systems that are showing up there. This other section here is the care plan. This care plan here helps present the outline of care for a patient. So it gives the patient, lets the patient know that they're in the stage of care called relief care, and it plants the seeds for long-term care, because when you go over the care plan with people, you're going to tell them where they are in their phase of care, and how you want to move them from relief care, which is visits are frequent here. That's what these little dots are. Visits are frequent, and as we move on, they move out over time, and ultimately you get a person to maintenance and wellness care. And then under relief care here, you write down how many, I'll jump to this slide over here. So here, like each visit builds upon the previous visits. Here, the goal is to get a person from relief care to maintenance and wellness care. And here, what I usually do is I feel like I want to see you one time a week for 8 weeks. Okay, this starts planting the seeds for the number of visits that you want to see a person in your clinic for. So these are the forms that I use in my practice. This section over here talks about the other recommendations of care that I might want to do. This talks about the different goals we're going to achieve, the different treatment plan we're going to be using. The important aspect is this date of reevaluation right over here. We talk about money here, and we talk about how people are going to pay for their care. And I want to present, I don't want you guys to reinvent the marketing wheel. And what I put together for you is this whole report of findings training, online training program for you, that is a done for you solution to help you become the master at the report of findings. So in this kit here that I put together for you, you have you're going to get 50 printed ROF forms that are carbonless. So actually, you write on one of them, and it automatically translates to the other one. Patient goes home with one goes in your file. You're also going to get a PDF of this form, so you could print them for eternity. In this kit, you're also going to get the care plan form. You're going to have 50 of these printed forms. Again, they're also carbonless, so one goes in their file. They go home with the other one. 50 of these are printed. You're also going to get the PDF form for this. You're also going to get a laminated steps of care poster, and also a video that goes along with this that walks you through how to educate your patients through these series of visits. This is a laminated desktop poster that you can put on your desk and walk your patients through the different stages of care. This is a really amazing tool. It's a powerful tool to be using in your practice to get people from the initial stages of care, from relief care all the way to maintenance care, and then what it means to relapse if they were to have a relapse. You get one of those. You also get 50 full color printed brochures that are the steps of care brochure that patients go home with, and it goes into detail about what the different phases of care are and what they can expect during those different phases of care. And you're also going to get a 65-minute online training program where I walk you through everything about the report of findings. This is a private membership portal over here. There's 65 minutes of video that I've put together in here that walks you through exactly what you need to do to become a master of the report of findings. No joke. I mean, seriously, I am committed to you to become an ROF master. You also get a transcript from a Q&A call that was really powerful and effective that I put together a few months back, and you get that transcript that you can access. You also get the steps to putting together an effective report of findings. So this is literally an outline that guides you through step by step as to how you can give an amazing report of findings. Consider this like your cheat sheet that you would be sharing with your, that would help you master becoming an ROF. You'll also get this special bonus here on this, what to do and what not to do during your report of findings. And this is pretty eye-opening. And, because there's some things that you might think that you should be doing in your report of findings that you shouldn't be doing. You'll also get this video about the big idea about acupuncture. It helps you embrace some of the ways that you can communicate the big idea about acupuncture. Not just that you can treat people for pain or allergies or, you know, diarrhea or whatever it is, but that you can communicate the bigger picture about acupuncture, which helps get people to commit to longer term care. You're also going to get a live walkthrough report of findings. I believe it's a 23-minute video of a live walkthrough of me going through, walking somebody through a report of findings program, you know, like from the beginning to the end, from the moment that we sit down, you'll see an over the look shoulder of me going through a live ROF with somebody. You're also going to get, it's about, I believe it's over an hour of the practitioner interviews that I mentioned earlier. So these are those interviews that I did with other practitioners who have successfully been integrating the ROF into their practice. And as another bonus that I really want to commit to is I want to do another 1 hour live training. Like if you were to purchase the kit that I'm going to, the ROF program and become a master at giving the report of findings, I want to put together a live 60-minute report of findings walkthrough and question and answer training. So this alone will really help shift you to become a powerful master at giving the report of findings. So this is everything that's included in the kit for you right over here. And I've sold this in the past for $99. $299. This was bundled into another training, and we sold it for $299. I also sold it for $247. I sold it for $200 not too long ago, and I've sold it for $167. But today, since you joined me on this webinar and you took the time out of your busy day, and since it's the beginning of the new year, I want to make the training available for you for up to 50% off. $147 is what I want to, you know, make the training available for you at. So, you know, there's probably going to be a link that shows up in your window over here. It says, you know, report of findings, mastery training, add to cart, one-time payment, $147. And I'm going to be keeping this payment available for the next week. And this is something that I really am committed to. I go into great detail to help give you everything that you need to do to become a master at giving the report of findings. And so that's really, really incredibly important. So right now, I'm going to go back. If you have any questions, I'm going to start answering some questions for you. I am going to also, I'm going to get back to me over here. Again, thank you for spending the time with me. You can click on the link that's in the chat box over here. If you want to join me on the report of findings, I believe I'm going to be doing that 60-minute training in about 2.5 weeks. So that live training to do that to help you support yourself in becoming a greater master at giving the ROF is going to happen then. And let's see, I am going to go back and answer some questions. I'm also going to give you that link to the bonus pages, and you can find those bonus pages for the report of findings. Let me just grab that for you right over here. I'm going to take that link and stick it in the chat box for you. Sorry about that. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to copy and paste this link and put it in here. You'll be able to download those bonuses that I mentioned, the report of findings ebook, the emails, and the other items that are part of this training. So I'm going to put this in the chat box right here. Here it is. That is the link that you can access right now to join, to grab the bonuses. And I'm going to go ahead and look at my screen over here, and I'm going to answer some questions. So let's see. Are there any questions? All right. Okay. Yep, there's a downloadable link. So, all right. I don't know. I'm not, maybe I answered all of your questions during the webinar. I don't see many questions popping up here. Are there going to be discounts on the forms? Yes, Sheila, the training program is discounted. I mean, honestly, it's a huge package that I included for the report of findings there. It's a 50% savings on that to grab the ROF there. Let's see. Yes, for those of you who want a replay, I will keep a replay up. So you'll be able to, the replay will be available just for about 3 to 5 days. So if you need to watch the replay, I would suggest that you watch that replay as soon as you can. And let's see. All right. Okay. So there are not too many questions that are showing up again. There's a lot of chat going on in there. So if you have another question, which day do you give the report of findings? So thank you, White Eagle Perry. I give the report of findings on day 1.5. So patient comes in, they fill out the form. They fill out the initial intake form. I give them a treatment, and then when they're on the table, I start putting together the report of findings. So I take that information from their intake form and convert it to the ROF, and then I have them come back the next day or a few days later to where I can sit down, give them like a 15 or 20-minute presentation about the report of findings. If I have time available, if my schedule opens up and I have time on that same day, then I will give them the ROF on that same day. So that's usually how I've been giving the report of findings there. Where's the link? Did you guys not get the link to the ROF training? Let me see. I will put the link again in the chat box. Okay, there is the link to the ROF training. Yes, thank you, Tracy. Yes, Aubrey, thank you. What are the free bonuses? The free bonuses are, one of them is the action plan organizer. It's basically an outline that walks you through how to give a report of findings. And it's also patient emails that you can use on the back end of the report of findings to help keep your patients, in care, or to get them to commit to longer term care. And it's also a 37-page ebook on how to give a rock solid report of findings. I think we've been selling that over the years for like $20, and that's part of the free downloads there in the download section there. How long do you have to get the program? The special discount for the program will probably be up for about a week or 10 days, only because I want to start that 60-minute live training that I included in the training in the program here is going to happen in about 2.5 weeks. So I want to make sure that you have the information where you can go through and start processing the report of findings, and then we can talk intelligently about the report of findings, so I can answer your questions in real time about the report of findings. The bonus links, I included those already. I will go get them again. Okay, let's see, where did they go? Sorry about that, I'm just looking for the link here. Bonus links. Okay, bonus items, link is coming up. Here it is. in the chat box. All right, there it is. Will these be available for download? I don't think it'll be available for download. I think you can watch the replay for 3 to 5 days after it goes up there. And then we'll probably put it behind a paywall. So if you wanted to watch this webinar again, you can watch the webinar, afterwards. Okay, so let's see. Yes, Chris, there is a whole year marketing info video that I did back in December. Well, not back, it's not that far long ago. And that will be available under the marketing training of our blog. And I'll probably send a link out to that afterwards. So there's that. Elizabeth, hopefully you got the links now. They are in the chat box. I would scroll up to make sure that it went through. Let me know if it's there. Thank you, Elizabeth. And no, it's not there. You didn't get the link. So the link it's right. It's like 2 posts below your post. Right over there is where the bonuses are. It's under Jeffrey Grossman. No links appearing in the chat box. It might be that you're private, so I would say, unprivate yourself, and maybe you would you'll get the links there. Good. Okay, you got the marketing bonuses, Marcella. Yeah, the links are they're in the chat box there. I will send you an email out, everybody, with the links to the downloads and with a link to the replay after this. So if they're not showing up in the chat box, they're there. I see them right here. I'll post it in there again. It's a big domain name. Active Perfect Marketing First Thursday bonuses, post to everybody. There it is. So it's posting to everybody. That's what it's saying over here. So if you're not getting it, you'll get it in an email. So how much time do I spend preparing the report of findings before my patient returns? Well, I spend about 8 to 12 minutes putting my report of findings together because I've been doing it for a while. It's pretty quick actually to transfer the information. And then I spend about another 10 to 15 minutes reviewing the report of findings with my patients. So it's not that it doesn't take a whole lot of time to do the report of findings. Are the January Accu downloads up yet in the website for the members? Yes, the Accu downloads is another program that we have. It's another marketing tool that we have. And Accu Downloads is live and ready to be used for January. So you can definitely access that under your membership portal. So that should be available for you. Yes, Shermy, yes, I will send out an email. Yeah, it is weird. I don't know. Some people are seeing the links and other people are not. So yeah, Shara just posted that link there anyway. All right, so are there any last questions? Any last questions? So if there are no last questions, I'm going to go to the chat over here. Again, how much time do I spend? Yep, I answered that. You're welcome, Gloria. Like I said, I feel that the report of findings is a powerful tool to help grow a strong and stable practice. It's the cornerstone of any practice, and that's why I wanted to start this first of the year out with that, because I feel like it's important. And I feel as practitioners, we don't have that marketing savvy or those marketing skills on board, and that's why I'm really here to help practitioners embrace that idea and to commit to the fact that we're here to help change the world, one person, a few needles at a time, by using acupuncture and in introducing people to the power of this medicine. So that's you're welcome. I enjoy doing this. I will be here next first Thursday, which is February 5th. And it's really exciting training that I'm not going to tell you about right now. It's a secret, but it's a really good, exciting training. I've been getting a lot of questions about that, so I'm going to be sharing that one with you. All right. You're welcome, Maria. I really enjoyed it. So what was that? You skipped my question. I couldn't download it from the link. It said I need to purchase WinRR help. Huh? I'm not sure what that means. Is anybody else having issues with downloading the forms? Some people have been downloading the forms just fine. Will the kit be available on the website for purchase? Yes, it will be. It's available right now. There was a link that I shared. And let's see, do you do consultation first where they fill out the intake form and then you have them come back to review the ROF? Yes. So they fill out the consultation form. I give them a treatment. I let them know that this first treatment serves two purposes. One, it introduces them to the type of acupuncture that I do. And two, that it lets me see how whether our body does or does not respond to acupuncture. And then if I have time, I'll do the ROF just after that initial visit, or on another visit, I will do that with them. The zip file. Okay, so it's a zip file that we have in order for you to download each of the documents there. So I would, I'm not sure what software, or if some software might be incompatible or outdated. So it's just a zip file, and zip files pretty much should open. Again, I will send a link out to the download links, and I will put them up there individually as opposed to a zip file. So if you need to access those individually, you'll be able to access them as opposed to one download, which is in the zip there. Yeah, I will definitely get a different way for you guys to get the bonuses there. Okay. All right. Thank you, Lynn. Yes, yeah, Safari might be having issues with some of that stuff too. I've experienced that as well. All right, guys, I am signing off. If you have any last questions, this is the time to ask. Otherwise, I'm going to go and enjoy the rest of my day, and hopefully you will too. Let's see. I am posting the bonuses one last time for you, Michelle, and you're welcome for the webinar. Good. Okay. How long do I allow for initial and repeat sessions in general? Well, I mean, my visits are about 45 minutes long. If that's what you're getting at. So initial visits, 45 to an hour, and then repeat visits are about 45 minutes. Thank you, Linda. Oh, okay. You're welcome, Diane. All right, you're welcome. Thank you guys again. Appreciate you guys for showing up here, spending the time, taking the time out of your busy day to join me. First Thursday, next one, February 5th. Really exciting topic for you, and look forward to sharing with you that then. You'll be getting some links to the downloads and the replay of this webinar. And then really, really, I encourage you to jump on the Reported Findings training program. There's, it's really a pivotal part of the practice. We're offering it for 50% off. It'll transform your practice, transform your patient relationships, and help you really embrace that leadership authority of becoming a powerful practitioner. Thank you so much. Really enjoy sharing this information with you. And until next time, stay happy, stay focused, move some chi, change the world. I'll talk with you then. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.